We're rolling. Rolling. Bloody marvellous, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Very well, thank you, sir. How are you?
You're looking fantastic. I'm feeling great. As always. Welcome back to another episode of Got Swoled. Today, we are very lucky to be joined by an incredible man by the name of... Introduce yourself, bro.
Bobby Rocket.
Bobby Rocket.
On the travels from London, come to see the boys.
Absolutely.
And Tyler to see you.
He
and
came
some of my partner's
halfway.
family. While we're here, might as well see some of her family as well.
Halfway across the world just to be here to have this conversation today.
100%, worth every
for
second.
you.
For you, you're very welcome.
I do have to ask, I love to know where nicknames came from first. And one of my questions is actually, why is it Bobby Rocket?
I actually don't know this.
I actually also don't know this as well. I kind of stole it from a friend of mine that set her name up as Holly Rocket. She's probably not watching, but good shout out. And then I was like, that sounds fucking cool. So I put it as my Instagram a really long time ago. And then when I moved to London, set up a gym box, and then they wanted a new email. And I already had Bobby Rocket on all my trainers. And then I was like, wait, I started a new job, new people, new email, new business cards. I was like, I'm going to stop being Rob because it's dry as fuck. Sorry to all the Robs. And then I thought I'm going to be Bobby because Bobby sounds like a fun name. There's no one boring called Bobby. Yeah. And everyone called Rob is probably boring. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it totally sounds like when you lead with Bobby Rocket, because I only actually met you in the gym box that once. Hey, yeah. But I've known about you for a very long time through various people. We're in similar circles. Yeah. Oh, no, I was there on my own.
No, the other way.
I was there just training. Shout out the Schnee. But
he probably is watching.
But yeah, so I would love for people to get a little bit of a background about you before we go into sort of what we're going to talk about today. So, like, what is all that is Bobby? Firstly, like, what do you do for work?
So I'm a personal trainer. Been doing that for nearly 10 years now. Gym box, Farringdon. Shout out. I set up about 2 years an events company, if you like. I started running events off the back of a very successful birthday party. Just pulling together from my personal network, all my incredible friends. Everyone's fun, cool, hot, lovely. I've got so many performer friends, DJ friends, videographer, camera friends, everyone coming together. I just kind of needed someone in the network to have the creativity and the vision to pull everyone together, get the venues, book the people, and then start making epic events.
That's dope, bro.
And I've done 8 now, and they've been fucking epic.
And the best part is,
can we swear on here?
Right, go for it.
Fuck yeah.
It's all come from the network, though. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing.
True.
Because I think, as Jazz was saying, you kept in contact with everyone, and that's what you do. You just had that, which no one does that. Like, especially the amount of people you keep in contact with.
It's getting harder and harder now. It's getting hard with time, but we're trying.
Nice.
Trying the best.
Yeah, sick, bro. So, by my understanding, if you were to describe this is called the Rocket Project, by the way. That is the party. You would describe it as is it a kink?
No,
mixer.
It's sort of in between. I think there's a bit of a hybrid in between. So I'd say it's like a themed event.
Yeah.
Where about the community that's been growing. There's a lot of people meeting good people through it. I've been pulling all my different networks together. I've really encouraged organic growth. I've not been marketing anywhere outside of the people that are my friends and friends of friends. And because of that, I think that's where the quality of the party comes from. You know, when you walk into a house party and everyone's a friend of a friend and you kind of feel like you know everyone, that's what I'm trying to create. So it's not a night out full of people that you don't know, it's full of people that you should know.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool. So you've kind of created an environment that's just really open to anyone who's in the world known by it. And you haven't niched down too hard on anything in particular. So it's welcome to anyone to just come who wants to have a good time and maybe have a chat with some people in the other side of the world.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that it's been a very encouraging and supportive space where if people want to get dressed up or dressed down, people want to make a load of effort. People just want to enjoy themselves. Like if you're around people of a similar nature, you don't feel like if you dress a certain way and go to a certain club, you probably get shunned or in trouble or get laughed at. But if you're all in this space together, I want to encourage people to dress extravagantly, make your own outfits, dress down, wear very little, just enjoy yourself. Like nights out used to be fun. And I feel like a lot of nights out have lost that. And I want it to be fun. I want to bump into people that I know. I want to see people that I want to hang out with. And I want to make friends with cool people, successful people, hot people, naughty people, fun people. It's all of so that cool. Encourages that kind of behavior, you know?
It's a beautiful community as well.
It is.
Like everyone's kissing everyone. I mean, I've literally seen the lines.
That's the selling point.
Look, I've literally seen the lines of people staying up just to kiss you.
Oh yeah, it's tough at the top. But you've got to lead from the front.
If you want to kiss Bobby Rocket, you know where you have to be, ladies and gents.
Right,
Ladies and gentle thems.
Gentle
You created this thing which is like you're the king and queen. Like everyone knows Bobby and Jazz. That's a really cool thing about it. Like, people that don't even know who the fuck you are. Like, I know Rocket Project. I'm going to Rocket Project.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a really interesting transition that you said from that. Initially, it came from my personal network, and then people knew of the party because they were friends with me. And now there's been a huge shift to a lot of people now know who we are because of the party. Or I'd introduce myself to people at the party, and they might not know who I am, but I really enjoy that. I'd be like, "Oh, you guys enjoying yourself? It's really nice to meet you." And someone will probably step in, "Oh, that's Bobby. It's his event," and then they talk to you in a different capacity. But I think that's another testament to the community being so friendly, supportive, and I really feel the love in that room. It's amazing.
Dude, what you're doing is incredible. And it's actually opening the door to a lot of people that maybe wouldn't be brave enough to explore something like that. Because like you said, this is almost like the when you have like a pre-drinks. This is like the equivalent of pre-drinks to the kink world.
I like
right?
it.
I would like to describe it like that. And it invites people to just kind of dip their toe in a little bit. And you can, like you said, you could dress up if you want to. But also you don't have to. You could be that person who just goes there to explore and feel it out a little bit if you're a little bit shy, right? And you could sit and just have a little drink and kind of just be a fly on the wall for a minute. Obviously, you don't want to be a creep. But I totally would perv on everyone because there are so many hot people there. Like the effort that goes into these events is massive. I remember seeing, I've not been to one myself, Ash has, but on the outside of it, I've been to a couple of events like it on the more extreme side. And, you have all of the tape girls, like you said, and you have certain things that are going on. You have performers, you have 5 performers and things like that, 2 dancers and all these extravagant things. Like the caliber of this event is massive. What you pull off is crazy. If you haven't seen it, or you are considering getting yourself into the kink world, like this is the door you want to walk through first.
It's a good stepping stone.
It definitely is. It really, really is. I think it's incredible what you're doing.
Thank you, bro. I think there's a little gap there because for someone who's never been to a party like this to go to a full fetish or a full play event isn't for everybody. Maybe that's not within your relationship terms. Maybe you're not comfortable enough to go there. But you can enjoy the fantasy side of it, the dress up side of it, the sexual side of it without having sex.
Totally.
And I've had so much feedback from that. It takes away that pressure of having to have sex or having to perform where you can actually just enjoy yourself.
Because it can be a really intimidating topic for a lot of people. Hey, 100%. I would love to just dive into something you just said a little bit, take us away from the Rocket Project to talk about Bobby for a moment, and then we'll dive back into exactly what you want to do with the Rocket Project and where it wants to go, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Because we always talk about an opinion. I love to talk about controversial topics or things that people aren't to the conversations that you don't necessarily have at the first meeting with someone. I want to invite people into Bobby's world a little bit. So you talk about sex and relationships and consent and sort of the boundaries that can be set maybe within open relationships. I'm going to leave this really super vague so you can take it in any direction you want. But with regards to sex, intimacy, romance and relationships, like what's your stance on that? And how do you deal with your like romantic side of life?
Okay, it's a lot of answers for this question.
Take your time, don't rush it.
I'm personally in an open relationship, which if you're with the right person, I think is the absolute best way to go about it. I feel like you can really enjoy your intimacy, your love with your partner, you spend all that incredible time together, and then you have that bonus fun time where you can elevate friendships outside of that. You meet up with other couples or involve other single people or go into that kind of events. Like you're there with your partner, but if you want to go and enjoy yourself, they want to enjoy themselves. As long as there's the communication's there, as long as you're both at the same level, you're both in it for the same thing. There's no malice there. You're not there to like hurt or spite each other. I want to have a good time. I want to have a good time. And then we're going home together. Again, it takes away any pressure. Like you enjoy yourself. You do build some connections with people. You always meet similar people or people that you played with before. Those friendships get elevated. You have a fantastic time. And then you're going home with your partner. And then you spend that time with them as well. It's kind of like a best of both worlds. That's how I see it.
How do you navigate with the communication between the two of you? Because I've seen your relationship fucking since you guys started dating. But like, how is the communication? Like, if someone's off or someone's not enjoying themselves, like, how do you guys communicate that to someone?
The way I see it, your partner needs to be your priority. If we were at a party and my partner's like, I don't like it, or I'm having a bad time, or I want to go home, we need to leave. Like, no matter what else is there, my partner's my priority. Cool, I want to enjoy myself, I want her to enjoy herself, but you're always, I feel like there's a lot of gray areas in relationships, open relationships is included. And sometimes you're going to slightly tip into something you maybe shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
But if you deal with it with emotional maturity as adults, if I was to say, cool, I didn't really enjoy it when you did this, or she'd say, hey, what you said to someone or how you acted or that person, I'd rather you didn't do that. Then we learn from that and then we build and grow from that. You just deal with it like adults.
Yeah, you guys take it to another level as well. Like you do it together, but you also do it separately. Like you go on dates separately as well. That's like another level.
Not dates. I feel like that level of intimacy is something that we don't do. I wouldn't have someone round without Jez.
So you separate emotional relationships with physical.
Yeah, that's what we try to do.
And with the setup that you speak about, you set boundaries at the start, and with emotional maturity, you're able to really good use of word is navigate.
Yeah.
Because it's not a straight line.
It's not.
And it's like we're gonna steer ourselves sort of towards maybe a threesome or an orgy. Yeah. And then while that's happening, you have to be so open and ready, like a mature adult. Yeah. The same way that I'm just trying to relate it for people that maybe haven't considered it yet. It's like when you go to the shop and you have something in your mind that you want to eat for dinner, right?
Yeah.
And your partner's like, I feel like pizza, and it's like, I wanted chicken. And it's like, should we have a chicken pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or should we get chicken wings and garlic bread and make a meze?
And we always make a meze.
A meze or a mess?
A meze, right? On as many people as possible. But it's exactly that. It's open communication and dialogue will get you through anything in a relationship. And it is supposed to be fun. The second 100%. The fun stops, my experience is exactly like you said. Put a pin in it for a second, check everyone's okay, and we make a decision from that point. Don't just keep doing this thing that people do, which is ignorance. Pretend it's not happening and watching your relationship fail for no reason.
This is, you've got to be in a good place as well before you even consider something.
100%.
If you guys aren't stable, it's not going to happen.
You shouldn't. So I've had so many friends like, oh yeah, we really want to into it. I'm like, you're not. You're either not in the right mentality or you're not in the right place together.
Yes.
Because if you're not happy in your relationship, the last thing you need to see is someone else with your partner. Like that's just not what you need to see.
No.
You need to be so comfortable within yourself and your relationship, knowing that you guys are going home together, that she will have with someone else isn't what she's going to have with me, and vice versa. Not just physical, but there's a deep enough connection where she could go and have the time of her life with all of the guys. But I know she's going to come home with me because I'm so confident in our relationship, and that works both ways.
I had this conversation with you a couple of years ago in Gymbox as well.
Yeah,
because asking you about it because I was in a stable place. You were like, don't do it.
No, that probably wasn't going to help.
Yeah, no, it definitely would have helped.
Probably wasn't going to help.
Advice.
Yeah. That's the thing. When I've spoken to a lot of guys in a monogamous relationship, the main limiter, they'd like, oh no, I could never do it because they couldn't see their partner with someone. I'd say, well, if your partner brought another girl home from work, for example, who was really attractive, he's like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. I was like, well, it kind of has to go both ways.
Yes.
Unless if she's happy with just that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which isn't for everybody, but that's the main limiter. The guy wouldn't want to see their partner with someone. And a lot of guys can't get their head around that.
And that's the right insecurity that they deal with.
It's just taken a second though. Because like I'm big on, we're dealing with a situation, there's action and there's reaction. And feelings make you react, right? Yeah, so the second you piss me off, if I don't go and just take like maybe 5 seconds, sit in silence for a minute and figure out what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling that, you react. But logistically, I can toss up that, okay, I might not want to watch my missus get railed by 7 dudes, but in return,
6 is fine. That's 7th one. That's it. Me done. I'm out.
But in return, I might be able to rail 7 chicks, and then I'm like,
I thought you were gonna say dudes. I'm gonna rail the same 7 dudes.
The chain, bro.
How many dudes you bang? I'm on 10. Do better, bro.
You've got to have it both ways. Like, and that's where it tosses up. It's like you may not feel comfortable. It's like if she goes, I'm comfortable with you doing this. So, okay, cool. I want to sleep with six chicks. I mean, I didn't know if you're couple swapping as well. At least like you're both kind of having that.
My like we all have different things, right? And for me, my thing is I'm cool as long as that dude isn't the spit of me. I don't know why.
You want him to be less a man than you?
No, I don't care. I don't care if they're like 7 foot and stacked, but I wouldn't care. Yeah. But if it's like my doppelganger, that makes me feel like less of a man.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but you could have a thing and it's like, I want to fuck a bald guy. Cool. Yeah. Because I'm not bald. There you go.
Call me.
I can't give you what you want. I want to fuck a black dude. I want to fuck a hung guy because I ain't got that. But you know what I mean? My thing was always, if we want to play with other people, unless there's like a really fun circumstance and it kind of just happens, which I'm also good with, and we're all having fun. But if you're going to suggest it, I want to know there's like a kind of a valid reason. I want to suck a dick while getting railed. Cool. Well, I don't have 2 dicks. Let's find another dick.
Let's get some more dicks.
If it's like you just want to go and fuck another normal guy that looks like me, I'm like, that kind of makes me feel shit.
You only want to have sex with guys that don't look like you.
Yes.
Because that box is ticked.
Yes.
You don't need that.
I have everything that I have. Sussed.
Amazing.
Fucking brilliant. I mean, I just want to take 1 second, if I can, to pause for a moment this conversation and ask anyone that's currently listening, if you are enjoying this conversation, please drop a little like, comment underneath any ideas for future chats when we have guests on, what the kind of questions are that you would like to hear about them and what shapes their life. And please click that follow link and subscribe button.
And also make sure you're sharing this to your story, share it with your friends, your family, and everyone, because that's another way that's going to help this all grow.
Like a lovely flaccid cock.
Yeah, you can share a flaccid cock.
To an absolute Jolly Roger. The Jolly Roger. On the theme of pirates, have you ever... I mean, do you like seamen, first of all?
Love it.
Do you know what an angry pirate is?
Oh, yeah. I know an angry pirate.
Yeah. Really enjoying this conversation so far, but I would like to hear more about the rocket project, if that's cool. We had a crazy birthday party and you realized you're a very popular man, lovely stuff for you. And all of your friends are freaks.
And there's an interesting, very diverse and wonderful.
Well, we're in a friendship group, so I know it to be true.
There we go.
And then we're 8 parties deep so far.
Yeah.
So what was so you had the birthday, and then what was the first idea that made you create it?
It did
for number 1.
Well, the reason the birthday came about, it was my 35th, not a very special birthday. I went to plan something small. There's a bar in the Gherkin in London.
Yep.
I inquired about the mezzanine, which holds 100. And the guy said, look, it's the weekend. If we're going to open it up, being in the city, there's no crowd there. He said, if we're going to open it, you might as well use the main bar. You might as well use the main space. It holds 500. And I was thinking, fuck, that's a shit ton of people. And then he said, well, we could cordon some of it off if we need to. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go for this. It was coming out of lockdown. People hadn't had much of a party. There's a lot of friends I hadn't managed to see for a while. Yeah. So I just put it on as a birthday party. I had a few mates that DJ'd I've got loads of mates that DJ. I just said, look, bring a USB stick, jump on the mic if you want. Jump on the deck, sorry. No mics, fuck that. You did not MC at my party, you can. And then like performer friends, I said, just come and bring your cool shit, do whatever you want to do. And it just grew from that party. It was a jungle party, wasn't it? Yeah, I put a theme on it. It was, I called it the Jolly Jungle Jamboree. I always put stupid names on it. I enjoy this alliteration and wordplay. Makes me happy. About 300 people turned up, like just from my personal network. I said, look, bring your friends. I didn't run a guest list. I didn't charge anyone to come in. I had no idea how many people were going to come. Yeah. I had the space. I just invited pretty much everyone that I knew. Yeah. And it was a fucking epic party. And the feedback from it, everyone was like, that's the best party I've been to. Your network is insane. The vibes, the music. And then they were like, this needs to be a thing. That's the best party I've ever been to. Yeah. And it wasn't like an official event, really. It was just me having a bit of fun with my network. And then from that, it's just grown and grown and grown.
I think it's so great. Like, even just if you take a second to appreciate the naming, there's a reason why that Bobby is the guy to do this kind of thing and bring this community together, because I think the reason why people struggle to step out of their, like, the norm, the societal norms for sex is because there's this massive weight that's put it on being monogamous. And the same way that marriage is like this, like, thing, hey, it's so serious. And actually, when you actually just chill out a little bit, realize that we've been given a gift as animals. There's only a few animals on this planet that can actually fuck for fun.
Yeah, us and dolphins, isn't it?
Us, dolphins, and rhinoceros beetles. I don't know.
I'm not a scientist. I think you might be.
I am not a scientist. I'm not a geologist, but anyway.
See the rocks.
Something like that.
You're definitely not a geologist. Definitely not.
Yeah, the proof's in the pudding. But I think it's really good that you're creating something that actually takes a topic that many find very serious. And like you said earlier, you are bringing the fun back into parties, because for a long time, I know the scene in London, for the parties that I was going to, it put me into a spiral because the way we were partying was super toxic. So now it's bringing everything.
Every event felt forced.
Yes.
You go to a night out, you're with a handful of mates, like you don't like the music, it's really fucking expensive, you're in the same venue. Yeah. And I have no intention in making friends there. So why have I gone to this place where loads of people are to be unsociable?
100%. It's a social event.
You're dealing with idiots.
Rocket Project is nothing.
Yes. I put no dickheads all over it. I'm really trying to discourage it.
Exactly.
Is that the rule?
It says that
on the flyer?
Every post,
No
every flyer, every message, no dickheads.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've now brought in a membership base, which is making it easier to keep people out, but it's been a monumental amount of work.
Yes.
It's made it harder to sell tickets. It's made it harder to grow, but it's, to me, more important. This event is not about making a shitload of money. It's not about having a ginormous following or like, cool, of course I want to be paid for my work. I fucking graft for these parties. Yeah. But and more important to me that the party is a success. Yeah. If you put one guy in that party who's acting up, being a dick, grabbing your girl or any girl, like it just throws the whole dynamic, and one person can ruin the night. Yeah. Really so it's so important that I try and protect that.
I think that's just when we're talking about self-development, and if anyone on here is trying to build their own business, that's a really good point to make. Is actually it's not about the initial financial gain. If you work on the brand and the project and you put loads of passion into it and you graft and do it the right way, the money comes. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be in a couple of years, but when it does, it will be there, and you will have a solid client base to work from.
Yeah.
I would love to know what the direction for. I'm not going to put a number on it because it always freaks people out, but for the future, of the Rocket Project, like what's the next steps, and what are the next steps for the Rocket Project?
One's from a personal step. I need to make it easier because for the last 2 years, it has taken up 100% of my time. Like I still run my PT business, I'm still smashing that, but all of my time outside of that has been on the Rocket Project. I'm working late, I'm working early, every minute in between clients, every evening. I'd eat and then I'm working till 1, 2 a.m. going to sleep, getting up 6, 7 a.m. for PT. And then in between every client, it's just graft. So I've been putting things in place to make it an easier system. I've been putting in a ticketing platform, I've been putting in a membership base. I've been putting in like a members WhatsApp group. Like there's a lot of things that have been a lot of work, but it's hopefully going to bring my workload down moving forward. Yeah. So I can mass message my members and offer them a ticket without having to individually send a password to every person. I don't need to send a message to 1,000 people with a password before trying to build new people. Yeah. Now I've got that membership base. 1,000 people get a message. People, pre-approved members, they get an instant access to buy 2 tickets. Yeah. And then I can focus on growing rather than focus on that base before I can grow, which is that's something that I'm working on for myself behind the scenes, which has been stupid amounts of work. In terms of where the event is going, I want to try and take it out of the conventional nightclub space, but it has been proven really difficult. I'm basically trying to throw a club night in not club events. Like I use a rooftop bar, I use like a circus tent. I've been using obscure venues. Yeah. There's only really one venue that I've used that could actually handle the party. Yeah. As in terms of like the sound and the tech and the security and the staff and just issues with every single venue bar one. Yeah. And it's just Lafayette's been amazing. Yeah. It's been the most expensive venue, but they've got their shit together. Yeah. Like they've got sound technicians and they've got managers there. They've got lighting engineers. They've got like a proper security team. Yeah. Like every other venue has been fucking amateur. And I can say that because I'm not going back to any of them. There's no chance. Like it's made the battle so much more difficult, but that is a proper club space for a club night. So it works, but just throwing a club night in a club has been done 1,000,000 times. So I want to find more obscure spaces, whether that means taking it a little bit outside of London, whether it's I want to throw it in a maddie spaces. I want to be in a mansion, a church, the woods, on a cliff, on a beach, in a fucking volcano. I want to do mad shit.
It's a brilliant idea, and it's one that I've seen many companies doing in the disciplines in the world that I come from. Yeah. So you have your film, TV, and theatre, and there's a company called Secret Cinema that I worked for a few times. I don't know if you've known them at all, but they are the movie equivalent of a fetish party. So like I worked in Star Wars, 28 Days Later, Dirty Dancing, and another one. And they create the world. It's immersive theatre, right? It's really cool. Almost the same vibe because you take it out of the norm, you put them into an environment when they can just play, have fun, explore, and it's not in that, like you say, every party is always in that same environment, and it's the same. You get that same feeling when you walk into a club. You have the exact same social cues, all of it. It's the same. It even smells the fucking same. If you can just take it into, it smells of fucking sweat, testosterone, and cum. Yeah, sweat, testosterone, and fucking semen.
That's the trifecta of success, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know you're winning.
So to
And I'm
take
home.
Let's get fucked.
Dad?
That takes me back to my childhood.
I hope he's not watching this. I'm horrified.
So to take it, it started off, obviously, you said in the Gherkin, which is great, and then you move it, you're trying to branch out of London, and then are you going to take it eventually abroad? How big do you want to make this thing? Because I feel like everyone needs to feel what it is to be part of one of these parties.
I would absolutely love to. I just need to build enough before I can go somewhere, because it's not me that makes the party, the DJs, the performance, they all add to it. But where I think the USP of the party is the crowd, because it's the best fucking crowd of any event I've ever been to. Of course, I'm biased; they're all my friends and friends of friends. But that community is not in a conventional club. It's just not there. But I couldn't throw a party somewhere without that crowd. So initially, I need to keep running events in London, because that's going to help it grow. That's where the majority of my membership is. But then I want to hit places on the outskirts. Initially, just push it a little bit further. I'd love to, down the line, take it abroad. With notice, throw something fucking epic on a boat or in a castle in Romania or something fucking mad, but with notice. Like, it needs to do like at least 6 months so people can
I was feeling like yesterday, I was thinking about it myself, and I spoke to Jazz about it. And you have these fitness influencers that do retreats in Bali, right? Can you imagine like the Rocket Retreat? And you basically create the most open-minded 5 days where you are a PT. You have friends in wellness. You know people that know nutrition. You know the fetish world. You've got fire performers. You've got yoga friends and this and this. You just go, boom, we get a location. You turn the whole sort of village into the place for the party. Plus, you take them on the highs and the lows of like the human experience through 5 days.
Epic.
That should be like the goal for me.
Hold on, do you start with a party or do you finish with a party?
You have two. You have 2 or 3. And it's just like you have the mixer, which is like a taste. And then you have a couple wholesome moments. And each evening it does something. And then that last night,
big party.
you go crazy party. And then the following morning, you take care of everyone just a little bit. And then you send them home.
Take care of everyone.
Yeah, well, personally.
When we're around the tents.
It wasn't me, it was the train.
Amazing. I would love to take it into more than a night. Like, it's currently one night, a lot of pressure on that night. If we were going further away, the issue is logistics. Even if I was to hit the outskirts of London, like, I need to think about everyone needs somewhere to stay or how they're going to get home. I can't have people drive 2 hours out of London, get shit cunted and try and drive home. So they're going to sleep in a fucking barn? Do I provide a house with rooms? Do I get tents? Like, do I put on a little bus back to London?
The Rocket Hostel.
Everyone gets a hostel. Just take over. I mean, I'd love a space where people could stay, where people could pay for a room. Let's say I had a big fuck off manor house. People could stay. What happens at the afters? It's expected.
That would be an offshoot of the project.
Offshoot, but there's a main room in the house. Maybe there's some outdoor space. We do something in the day. So say there's some woods that we can throw.
You have like the VIP package.
Exactly that.
And
we can throw a party outside. Then we move the party inside. And then the party shuts, and what happens in the rooms happens in the room. And I am not obliged to sign anything. And then that's on you. Do what you want in your rooms. Invite who you want to stay. You can pay extra if you want a room. Some people can camp in the grounds for free. Some people can drive home sober.
Like your own secret garden party.
Dude, I think it's epic, and what you're doing is incredible. That's such a cool idea, and I really, for the future, like, I hope it. I know, in fact, I don't even need to hope. You know, when you have these friends that you just believe in them because they have that self-belief, the same way that with this motherfucker, anything he tells me he's going to do, I know he's going to do it. I have the same belief in myself. I put you in our category, and that's why we're friends. Hey,
thank you,
and we've met twice, which is hilarious. I feel like I know you so well. I would love you to just drop a couple pieces of advice and something that you're comfortable with, though, which is like, let's say I'm a single dude or single woman, and I'm really curious I'm going to get asked for 2 things. So one, I'm really curious to broach the topic of like an open relationship. And I'm not quite sure what questions I need to ask and how to set it up so I'm looking after both parties.
Okay.
How would you tell them to broach that?
I think it's finding the person that you're compatible with. So I think the compatibility of a relationship is really fucking important. In terms of how you want to spend your time, what time you want to go to bed, what kind of food you want to eat, what kind of trips you want to go on, what kind of people you want to hang out with, how fucked up you want to get on a night out, what time you want to go home from a night out. All of these dynamics, I think, need to line up. If you can find someone that ticks those similar boxes, then the relationship's the way forward. If you're at that stage, you both need to be at that stage. The right person, wrong time is not the right person. Good advice. But when in terms of the open relationship, I think it's something that needs to be discussed from the start. Because I've had so many friends in that relationship that want to try and bring that in. And as soon as someone brings that up, I can see why that could offend the other person. Yeah. Like if you were a guy, a bit of an alpha guy, and your partner's like, hey, I want to fuck some other dudes as well. I can see a lot of guys not taking that very well. Yeah. And that could be detrimental to your relationship.
Because that presents a question, doesn't it?
It does.
Because why now?
Am I
enough? Dude, I have a really big thing about that. Yeah. Like I am fully, and I'm versed in this, so I have to have that conversation at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had it actually where I had the conversation at the start, and then we didn't bring it in yet. And then when I wanted to bring it in, it was then a problem. And I was like, but I thankfully had set this up right from the beginning. Yeah. So like there was no love lost, but then I had to just call it there because I was like, we can't go further now.
Yeah. Conditioning, very, very important, getting things like that in early doors. It was something that we discussed before. Well, as we were getting into a relationship, it was something that we discussed. We both come from quite an open, we've both been single for a while. I'd say I was very good at being single. I enjoyed being single. I feel like I had a good network around me and I was good at that. I enjoyed that. It was something, it's not a case of giving that up. I just felt like I wasn't ready to shut that side of me yet. And it's no disrespect to my partner. It's just something that I enjoy on top of my relationship. So I just think it adds to it.
Yeah.
It's something that we enjoy doing. And then I think it actually makes your relationship stronger because then you come back, there's something called reclaim sex where you can have amazing sex with your partner because they've had sex with other people and it actually elevates.
Is that the thing that what's his name, Marcus was talking about? Where I think we spoke about this a couple of episodes ago, where it was like they're in an open relationship, his business would go away. That obviously you guys were different, but he'd go through all the emotions, fucking be crying and really injuring himself while she was gone. But the second she came back, he felt that fucking urge to prove why he was a better one. So they had that better sex when they came back. And they've been open for a long time. They continue this cycle. He continues the cycle.
But he's happy with the cycle.
I mean, unfortunately, it sounds like he is. Like I wouldn't be happy with that cycle, but it's that kind of thing.
Sounds traumatic.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's not for me.
But where you have to then feel you have to prove yourself you're better than the person you slept with. That doesn't sound helpful.
And that's a problem right there.
Yeah, that doesn't
no one has to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole reason you don't get. If that's why you want to do it, don't fucking do it.
That's good
Be
advice.
single.
That's good advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
Not.
In fact, it's not for most. It's not for most people.
And just some encouraging words then for people who want to come to the Rocket Project or just don't want any kind of. I know the Rocket Project isn't itself a sex party, but it definitely is that stepping stone. So actually, I think I could give you the advice if you're listening right now. The Rocket Project is probably the first one you want to go to just see, because that's all the people you're going to meet is the kind of people that go to all the other parties.
100%. Yeah.
And you'll just see the mentality and actually how nice everyone is.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's ridiculous. I have been in so many different circles of people and I look like a dickhead, right? Most people that are very... You just look at us.
Same for you.
Yeah, we all look like
this. But when you actually get to know these kinds of people and where all this comes from, the way you look and the way we take care of ourselves or don't, is because of actually we're just really nice people who want to share fun. So if you have never been to an event of its kind, please look up this guy and look up the Rocket Project. I believe the Instagram is at the Rocket Project.
The.rocket.project.
The Rocket.project. No. The.rocket.project.
Correct. Yeah,
on Instagram.
I also do feel with these events as well. Like any relationship, obviously with the insecurities that people have in a relationship, a lot of it gets stemmed from sex.
100%.
A lot of it. So that's why coming to something like this and being able to have that open experience, like you said, strengthens the relationship.
It does.
Because it will alleviate so many issues.
And I have a first-hand experience of this because the first time I decided to go to one event, I actually was going to go with the woman that I was seeing, and she just happened on the morning of to come on her period.
Yeah.
And some people don't mind. I definitely don't. In my opinion, you ain't a man till you got blood on your sword.
That's
my
basically
opinion.
a vampire.
Yeah, I'm fucking. I have another story that I could tell you about that one.
Same.
One of the grossest things I ever did.
You take your little fangs out to do it, or
I mean, I think that would have hurt her, but
it's like round Halloween. It's fine.
But anyway, I took her to it, and she just basically wasn't comfortable to get involved at all. And do you know what I did? I stuck by her the whole night, sat on the outsides. We watched it, we spoke about it, we let everyone else have their fun. We had a small bit of fun in the corner. We had our minute, and that actually does strengthen your bond together. And then you get to see the world, and you can decide from that moment. We didn't engage with anyone, and you can decide whether you want to go back.
Yeah.
And that is sticking to the outsides and just staying in your lane and doing whatever it is that you want to do. Now, the fun part.
Oh, the fun part.
That wasn't fun.
Now we can call that boring shit.
Yeah, stupid party.
We're gonna crack some jokes. Do you know? So, Bobby, you have quite a dark sense of humor. So I've actually prepared some dark jokes. Ash loves the dad jokes. I'm sure we got dad jokes coming.
I love dad jokes and dark jokes. So I love my dark jokes.
And dark dad joke.
But by the way, with these dark jokes, they're dark. If you don't have a dark sense of humor, probably switch.
Oh, they're jokes. They're jokes, not facts, and they're not opinions either. So if you take offense to this, put it back where it came from and stay away from fences.
Exactly. It's funny.
Stay away from
fences.
Fences.
If you take offense,
Oh,
put it back.
Right.
Put it back and leave the fence where it was.
Laugh at it for the joke. It's funny.
I was digging in our garden and I found a chest full of gold coins. I wanted to run straight home to tell my wife about it. Then I remembered why I was digging in our garden.
What's the best thing about having two dads? You don't have to celebrate Mother's Day. What's the worst thing about having two dads? You can hear him celebrating Father's Day.
Oh, that's awful, yeah.
Every day is Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. I know the other one.
That reminds me of the most sordid wank I ever had.
For fuck's sake.
I got another one.
Is this what you guys always do?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, this one may touch a nerve. This is great. You ready?
Try me.
This is definitely going to touch a nerve. Why did God invent the yeast infection?
Go on.
So women know what it's like to live in an irritating cunt. That may touch your nerves, but that's a dark one, that one there.
I apologize.
I love you all, but we went dark.
I don't take a word of it back.
No.
Okay. A man walks into an enchanted forest and he tries to cut down a talking tree. "You can't cut me down," the tree exclaims. "I'm a talking tree." The man responds, "You may be a talking tree, but you'll die a log." Hey! Zing!
Okay. What?
So shit. The voices were good though. I'm the talking tree.
What's worse than two girls running with scissors?
Oh, wait, I came across this one. I'm going to take this. Two girls scissoring with the runs.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Yeah. High five me, please. Hey. Oh, dude, fucking, my mum died when we couldn't remember her blood type. As she died, she kept telling us to be positive, but it's so hard without her.
For fuck's sake.
What's the downside about being a test tube baby? You know your dad's a wanker.
That's just awful. That sucks.
But the best part
Are these dad jokes or dad jokes?
The best part is at the start they should see if you can make me laugh. Look at the cheek.
I'm pretending.
Oh, you're great. I love you.
On that note, give a man a match and he'll be warm for a few hours. Set him on fire, he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
Wow. Okay. I know they're called hemorrhoids, but we're definitely missing a trick in calling them asteroids.
Wow.
Do you know what?
Terrible. It's great.
That's pretty decent. I'll give you that one.
Terrible. That's terrible.
A priest.
Go on.
I can't believe you do this at the end of your podcast.
The fact it starts with a priest is going to be great.
A priest asks asks the convicted murderer at the electric chair, "Do you have any last requests?" "Yeah," replied the murderer. "Can you please hold my hand?" As he gets electrocuted.
There he is.
There we go.
Sorry, I kind of.
It was the voices that threw you off. I'm sorry. Poor delivery.
Voices were good.
This is terrible. How many lips does a flower have? 2 lips.
Oh, stop. Thanks. That's all for today, guys.
I know. I had to go there.
Where did Joe go after getting lost on a minefield? Everywhere. My grandfather said my generation relies too much on the latest technology, so I unplugged his life support. Oh my god!
Have I said the joke about the altar boy with no arms?
Go.
No? Doesn't ring a bell.
It doesn't ring a bell. Fuck.
My parents raised me as an only child. It really pissed off my sister.
I'll give you one more.
Okay.
I was in the taxi the other day, and the taxi driver said, "Do you mind if I put any music on?" I said, "Sure." He was like, "Kiss?" I said, "Well, sure, put the music on. See how he feels."
And I'll finish on this. How many emo kids does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. They all sit in the dark and cry.
That was fun.
Thank you so much for taking part in this podcast, Bobby. It's been a pleasure to have you.
You're most welcome. Thank you. Thanks for your diabolical jokes.
You're so welcome. I wish you and the Rocket Project all the best. Again, I will plug your Instagram just one more time, and I will get it right. I think it is the.rocket.project on Instagram. If you want to get yourself into the world of sort of all that is weird and wonderful, it's a great place to start, and then you can start sort of exploring from there and see where exactly it is you fit into that world.
Yeah.
I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. If you have and you want to help us grow on this channel, we would really appreciate it if you could follow us on Patreon and subscribe to our channel at Swoled. Other than that, I hope you have an incredible rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself. And as we always say, we're not here to put wheels on wheelchairs.
What was the other one?
So close.
There's another one that you had.
We're not here to count the legs on millipedes.
It's
Yeah.
a million, right? Everyone knows.
You're welcome.